president and the chancellor, and they were the one wearing the most bling, right? In the hood, that's called bling, just so you know, all right? Just so you know. There. I was invited to give the commencement speech. They said I would have 8 minutes, and I said, the universe needs a little more than 8 minutes. And need at least 9 minutes, if I can, please. Maybe 10. I don't know. I thought I would spend this time, brief as it is, together, to share with you things that you should know going forward in life. Things you should know. Maybe you already know it. Maybe, but I don't think everybody knows all of this. Things you should know. Okay. A couple of things. Your grades, whatever is your GPA, rapidly becomes irrelevant in your life. I cannot begin to impress upon you how irrelevant it becomes. Ask anybody just a few years older than you, when was the last time someone asked your GPA? And they will have long forgotten. Because in life, they're not going to ask you your GPA. They're going to ask you, are you a hard worker? Are you a problem solver? Are you committed? Can you focus? Are you a good leader? All of these other questions matter in the rest of your life. I remember taking the SATs long ago. I remember when I got the scores back, and my verbal score was okay, but it wasn't one of those scores where a teacher would say, hey, he'll go far. Hey, watch that student. Hey. No, that is not what happened. So a few years go by, I get my master's, my PhD, I write a column for a magazine. 5 books later, I get mail used to come in paper envelopes, okay? I got a letter from the Educational Testing Service in New Jersey. They are the purveyors of the SATs. Just to show you what kind of grip these institutions have on us, I get the letter and say, look, was there an error in my SAT scores? I'm a full-grown adult reacting this way to this letter. And I opened it up, and they said, Dear Dr. Tyson, we were reading one of your essays on the universe, and we were impressed with it so much, we want to use it for the next round of SATs for the reading comprehension part for the students. And so I said, what the fuck just happened here? Something is wrong! If the exam means anything, if the GPA means anything, it's what you were in that moment. And it so does not define you for the rest of your life. Another thing, the most dangerous people in a free society are those who don't know. By the way, it's okay to not know. This is what school is for. That's okay. But if you don't know, but think you do know, and have power over legislation that would affect others, that is dangerous.
Yes!
Those are the signs of the end of an informed democracy. Science matters. Other subjects matter too. I'm just saying, science matters in the following way. Think about this. Cavemen and women, they had clean air, fresh water. Their food was free range. Yet their life expectancy was 35. Something else matters that improves your life expectancy than just the search for clean air and clean water. There's more going on in our lives, brought to you by innovations in science and technology, that improves your health, your wealth, your well-being. Just consider that before you start saying, I don't like science, I don't want science. Well, move the hell back into the cave and we'll go to your funeral before you turn 36.
Oh my God.
Another thing. This is just a list. That's all. Just going down the list. It has become a pastime to blame politicians for the ills of the world. And I understand the urge to do that. I get that. However, cool. I understand the urge, but at the end of the day, the politician is a representative of an electorate. So when I go to Washington, but I don't beat the politicians over the head. They are duly elected officials. If you have an issue with politicians, it's because you have an issue with your fellow citizens who put them there. So if there is a politician who is sure the universe is 6,000 years old, it's because there are people walking among us who think that. As an educator, it is my duty to teach people about the methods and tools of science, how and why it works. Because the engines of tomorrow's economy depend on it. Innovations in science and technology will drive the 21st century economies. The extent to which you cherry-pick science for your own philosophy, just because you didn't like the result, where does that stop? What's going to happen? You're going to say, oh, I want to repeal the law of gravity because I gained 10 pounds last month? Where does that stop? The laws of physics affect us all. Objective truths are true whether or not you believe in them. So if you are not scientifically literate in the 21st century, you will have disenfranchised yourself from important decisions that affect us all. Unless you're okay with that, you should be thinking about how to learn. It doesn't mean you have to be a scientist, no. You don't have to be one, but just understand what it is and why. Now, science literacy is not how much you know. It is how is your brain wired for thought. That's what it is. If someone comes up to you and says, I have these crystals, and you rub them together and you dance under them, it'll cure your ailments. Okay, so now, it's easy to be smug and say, this person is a freaking idiot. Let me just leave that alone. Okay? Fine. One might also say, wow, that's great. Let me get them. How much are they? I'll buy all of them. Do you realize each of those states of mind are equally as lazy? It actually takes effort to inquire about the truth of something. Effort. So you ask, where are these crystals from? What are they made of? What is their chemical composition? What are the properties you are invoking that claims to create the health? What are the experiments? Can you cite them? That is science literacy. neither the blunt acceptance nor the blunt rejection of a claim of someone who is making statements in the name of science. That's a point. Another point, I think, this is a personal thing, I think on some level role models are overrated. Ooh. Well, let me tell you why. I will tell you why. Growing up in the Bronx, Bronx in the house, yeah. Had I required as a prerequisite that another black man from the Bronx had become an astrophysicist for me to become one, I'd still be in the Bronx. If you require a role model who looks just like you to be something you want to be and you can't find one, is that a reason to not be what you want to be? No. Oh, no, so my argument is simple. You can assemble your role model, get the people who do what you like, but you don't have to be them. Just be the piece of them that you want to be. And then if someone who's moral, you do that. If someone who's athletic, you do that. So you don't have to be the whole person. That protects you from when the person messes up in some fundamental way. There isn't this fear that now you have to go mess up too, because that's what your role model did. So I encourage people to assemble their role models a la carte. That is far more potent a way to establish what it is you may become in this world. Now, a couple of things just cosmically. The universe is bigger than you are. Lesson 1, okay? That sounds obvious, but some people don't really know that. Number 2, Earth. If someone invites you to go to Mars, just remember how beautiful Earth is before you do that. You can breathe the air, things like this. However, do not forget that Earth is really good at killing you. 90%, over 97% of all the species of life on Earth that have ever existed are now extinct because of Earth. So we think of Earth as a haven, but in fact, it is out to kill us every opportunity it gets. It's our ingenuity, in spite of that fact, that prevents it. And the sun is a limitless source of energy. Oil under the ground, not so much. If you want us to exist and thrive into the future, and you're one of these people who say, I don't need space. I solve all my problems here on Earth. Meanwhile, there's unlimited energy, unlimited resources, and that's what you're saying to yourself? Move back to the cave, because in fact, that's where you will land when this is over. And I want to leave you with 2 more points. I grew up during the Cold War, as did many on this stage. We used to say we are the leaders of the free world here in America. And Russia, they're not free. They have to show their IDs everywhere they go. That country spies on their own citizens. I remember saying that about the Soviet Union. And now, so, I don't know, I look at there are cameras everywhere in the streets, and I don't know what that means. I mean, if the KGB had the surveillance that America has today on its own citizens, they would totally dig that back in the Cold War. So I don't know what has happened to the world, but you're up next in the batter's box. It's up to you. If it's okay with you that everybody's looking at you, all right. It's not okay with me. It's not okay with people who remember what it really meant to live in a free society. We live in a world where not everyone has the urge to help others, okay? Or do it all yourself, for yourself, and sort of require that other people help themselves. And I'm reminded of a saying that went around for a while. They say, we need people to lift themselves up by their bootstraps. And then I think about that, and that works, you know, sometimes, but we are reminded that, in fact, I'm going to tweet this. Yeah, I'm feeling it. Just take a second. It is okay to encourage others to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. But if you do, just remember that some people have no boots.